Hey! Hello everyone, this is Aegon of Astora, and welcome back to my blind playthrough of Elden Ring. This is episode number 15, being recorded on Sunday the 4th of September 2022. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, whenever it is you find yourself watching this. Yeah, so... I was thinking about episode 13. How in episode 13 I read out the dialogue that the finger reader crone, or no, it was the finger, was conveying through the finger reader crone, which was, across the realm, life lies in ruin, fallen to pieces. And I didn't quite reject that argument, but I cast doubt on it, or at least I tempered that a bit by illustrating that there are some places in the world, most notably in this region, in Limgrave, a little bit also in Stormhill, but not to the same extent as in Limgrave, where, things aren't dreadful. There are pockets in which life is, maybe not flourishing, but it's doing okay. So I question that line. And yeah, of course I was doing it on my way here. Which, yeah, not really, okay, I see there's a stairs there. Oh, I've been dreading this. I really have been dreading this. I've been thinking, because when you look on the map and you look at the areas, the order in which they're in, Liurnia of the Lakes is the next area as far as this ordering goes. It might not mean anything. So, and also based on the fact that I've sort of skipped a level in upgrade materials. We don't have any level 3 upgrade materials. Just, we went right to level 4. So that has me thinking we are sort of out of position here. But... okay, I was gonna say, but I think we should proceed, and then okay, so 3 poison arrows, it looks like, actually are sufficient to poison them, and thankfully it does not look like they fly too well. So, gosh, they are frightening though, aren't they? So yeah, life is, in fact, it's fallen to pieces in this place. And I'm going to suggest, based on, my limited experience here, that it's not just the life in this region that's fallen to pieces, but also in terms of the response to life falling, the response to the rot spreading across this land seems to have been very inhumane. Gosh, these things are absolutely dreadful. Gosh darn it. At a certain point, they just sit against the... Oh, one more. No! Oh, gosh darn it. Missed my opportunity. I'm going to run out of these very quickly. Oh, and of course this one is still alive. Gosh darn it. Oh my gosh, it only took off half of their HP. Okay. This is going to be more difficult than I anticipated. Okay, so we have friends here. And then we have the friends who are walking down the road here. Yeah, there they are. Absolutely terrifying. So, yeah, I don't really have any particular plan. I do still... No, I don't have any beacons left. Except... Okay, that's a... We would need a stored... sword stone key. I keep wanting to say stored sworn key. That makes no sense at all. Sword stone key. Okay, this again, these things are going to be a lot more difficult to deal with than I had originally anticipated, but I'm wondering whether it's worth it at all to mess with these guys here. Or if this is just meant to be a set piece to freak you out and sort of, yeah, have the impact that it had on me in the previous episode. Oh, and of course, they'll build up rot. Not just from their grab attack, but from their puke attack as well. Oh, no. That's bad. It might just be a... Oh, yeah, you really... I don't think you have anything to gain from messing with this gaggle of rot-infested villagers. Okay, friends, nice. Nice going for a walk with you. I appreciate your company. Okay, so we wasted a bunch of poison arrows on those friends now, and I'm about to... Unless we have... Okay, we do have these to... Okay, so I guess we don't have to rest at this point, but we're not in good shape as far as our flasks go. We've definitely got their attention now, but yeah, so I don't really have a plan here because this entire area is just massive and there's a lot going on here. Not exactly sure how best to tackle this or whether we are even remotely equipped to tackle it. Who are you? Oh, they're coming out of the ground as well. What the heck? Oh, these are the Guardians, I think. Oh, that's... Oh yeah, they're fart attack. Okay, I forgot about that already. Wow, they're much more formidable in a group. I wonder if I can get them to fight these friends here. It doesn't look like they're biting. Although they are coming. Okay, interesting. Let's see. Few things I love more than getting NPCs to mess with one another, and it looks like it may have worked in this instance. Although they're very tentative. They may in fact just be looking at me. Gosh darn it. Okay, yeah, no, it didn't work at all. Because now they're running. No! Oh, Aegon, what are you doing? Okay, I don't think there's anything to be gained by messing with them any further. Okay, so but over here we just have the giant doggos, it looks like. Gosh, just everything in this place is dreadful. Again, serves me right for casting doubt on all the things that the finger was saying. The fingers, I should say. Not fully sure how to refer to that entity. We might have some chests here. Oh no. Oh. Okay. I can summon Jellyfish Friend, but only in that particular area. Okay, I don't think the doggo is going to help us either. Gosh darn it. They are not. None of the NPCs are cooperating. They appear to be chaining at that specific point. Oh, I was not expecting them to... Ouch! This thing's not a dog, it's like a T-Rex. Jeez. Why does that only give us 313 runes? Oh, regret. Yeah. Dreadful. Okay, I might as well call it Jellyfish Friend. I don't know how else we're going to manage this on our own. She's got her back, so I'm sure we'll be fine. Okay, it might be worth seeing if there's a chest behind here. Thankfully, it looks like Jellyfish Friend has the wherewithal to not attack friends unless they're already aggroed. I could be imagining that, but it seems like they... Oh no. Great sword! Ooh! You know, I was complaining... Okay, never mind. Jellyfish Friend. Oh. Oh no. Okay, it's weird that the sky is red in the morning. I don't know what that means, if anything. Or maybe it was just a glitch the way it looked previously. Okay, what are we going to do here? Is that a... I don't know what that is. If that might be an NPC. No. I don't know who these friends are. Okay, the ones with the weird faces, yeah. So the foot soldiers, I guess, that are basically hollow. Bolt. And we've already looted the item from this corpse here. Okay. I picked up some sort of fire spell or incantation or something. Whirl of Flame, superior incantation of the fire monks, creates a spiraling stream of fire that burns the area before the caster. Charging enhances potency and reach. Fire beguiles those who gaze into it, and so the Guardians of the Flame are also its worshippers. Okay, not fully understand what they mean by that, but I'm sure that will become evident as we proceed. These are some hungry animals. Okay, so I don't believe it would be possible for us to, or would it? Okay then. Oh no. Okay, so Great Bow Friend is definitely not friendly. Yeah, they got tremendous eyes. A lot of friends in this game have trouble with their vision. That friend is not one of those people. Okay, if you can't see them, they can't hurt you. I'm sure that... I think that's the rule. Gosh, I really don't want to run through everything, but I don't even know how the heck you're supposed to face these friends one-on-one. They make it very difficult. Our echoes or runes are over there. There's only like 500 of them, so I'm not overly concerned about it, but... I guess we might as well take the doggos on. Although they're backing off now for some reason. Okay, back to eating. Fair enough, I suppose. Oh my god. Ouch. Gosh darn it. Sometimes panic rolling pays off, other times it does not. Yeah, This area is going to be a major struggle, I think. And I was originally quite insistent on simply proceeding and going through it because, you know, I find the area very interesting despite the horrifying and seemingly above my level things that are happening here. But yeah, I'm beginning to question that. Oh. And I know I'm not doing well here. It's not like I deserve to be defeating these friends, and I'm not. I'm just... Ooh. Oh, gosh darn it. Okay, I guess that shows it can be done. They do appear to be able to hurt each other, but it's not easy to do. Oh, what the heck is that? Oh my goodness. How are you supposed to compete with that? These bird with teeth are dreadful. They're incredibly strong. You can see why there's a procession of zombies leaving the area, because they're like, I don't want to deal with these guys. Okay, you know what? Really, I'm thinking Liurnia of the Lakes may be the place for us right now. Something else I considered is, yes, my weapon is probably a bit under, quality halberd. We carried it this much into the game, but we're only doing 248 damage, which is not a lot. So maybe I considered upgrading the golden halberd, but I think this is one of the first weapons in the game we got. Because this one, you actually use the Twinkling Titanite equivalent to upgrade it. So, but then even then, we're still missing the 3rd level of the upgrade stone. So I think Liurnia of the Lakes is probably the next, because we've got these level 4 upgrade materials here, which suggests to me that, and based on the arrangement of the different areas in this list here, that, we got level 2 upgrade materials here, level 3 will be here, level 4 will be here. Don't know if it's that simple, but in any case, I have all of these different areas starred so that we can come back to them later. So, yeah, screw it. Let's say hello to Liurnia of the Lakes. Ah, look who it is. What's his name? Gosh darn it, I've already forgotten. The one who was the tree. Demi-human Bach. Hi, Bach.
Good to see you, Master. Do you remember me? Bach, the demi-human. You helped me before and retrieved my sewing needle. Please, Master, allow me to serve you as your seamster. I can't make nothing from scratch, but I'm happy to make adjustments to your garments.
Don't tell me. Okay, what do the adjustments do, though? So this one just gets rid of the cape?
Master, I was wondering, do you ever make adjustments to your garb yourself? I would, rather you let me do the job when possible, please. I don't ask anything in return, and, I am your personal seamster after all.
Of course, friend. I will leave it to you.
Oh, going so soon? Please do be safe on your journeys.
Okay. Well, nice seeing you as well, friend. Okay, so Why the heck? So where was... We had already unlocked a church. Oh, there was no site of grace there, of course. Okay. The Church of Irith. Okay, I assume this place is going to be slightly easier than Caelid, which was a literal and figurative horror show. We do eventually want to go back here. I don't know how we're supposed to get there, but in order to face and get revenge against, what was the friend's name? The Grafted Scion, I believe. Okay, well, yeah, I feel kind of defeated already. But yeah, I don't feel bad just because, yeah, I just don't feel prepared to be able to take on that area. Like, we could always run through friends and just sort of do things by running by. But, you know, obviously you all know I like to take my time and I like to think about the areas. And sometimes you need to fight the friends that are there in order to, yeah, actually understand what it means to be in that area and to, yeah, do the things that FromSoft intends you to do in order to be able to fully sort of understand what's going on.
Back to learn another? Wonderful. You're most welcome to any of my anemic little spells. Find yourself a glintstone key. Without one, you can't pass through the academy, and you'll never reach the Erdtree capital.
Okay. He's still sort of being crestfallen there. I can relate, friend, to thinking that you belonged at the academy and then not being there anymore. Just, you know, trust me when I say it's not the end of the world, and you will find something better. I say that, though I've not yet found something better, but I am hopeful that one day I will. It's not a high bar, honestly, but that is indeed where we fought Grafted Scion. Okay, so yeah, again, I thought this area was going to be Caelid 2, or this episode I should say, but it looks like it's going to be Liurnia of the Lakes 1. So we have a little graveyard up here. Oh, what is this? Crystal blood, okay, interesting. I assume something's going to pop out of the ground here. It's much too peaceful. Oh, that's lovely. Yep. So there's some friends hanging there. And of course you're alive. Oh gosh darn it. Oh, oh. That was a good start. You can see the bones combining from quite a distance there. Oh. My friend's got hyper armor for days. Oh, gosh darn it. Okay, maybe I can't parry that. All right. The way they just fall to pieces. Oh, gosh darn it. They're not actually going to come all this way, are they? Okay, let's try this again. Third time's the charm, as they say. Warming stone. Okay, that's all it was. I suppose it's better than nothing. Yeah, again, getting some major performance hiccups. The frame rate keeps dropping. And, yeah, not really sure why. Because when we first started playing this game, like, unless they tried to optimize it and just ended up doing the opposite. Very strange stuff. Gosh. There is going to be a lot of dead friends there, I imagine. Those who live in death, I should call them by their actual names. Ooh, that was close. Keep thinking we're finally going to come across that, whatever is depicted in that painting, but no luck as of yet. Ouch. Ouch! It is nice to be able to deal with those friends without really worrying anymore. Academy Scroll. Scroll of the Academy of Raya Lucaria, the Glintstone Sorcerer's place of study, can be given to a learned sorcerer to gain access to the following sorceries: Great Glintstone Shard and Swift Glintstone Shard. I wonder if the friend at the Church of Irith, was it? Yeah, the Sorcerer Thops. I wonder if they would be considered a learned sorcerer or not. Thank you for the extra flask, friend. Much appreciated. Okay, doesn't look like there's a lot going on in this graveyard, perhaps, other than upgrade materials, which are always appreciated, but I suppose they're not even upgrade materials, they're just crafting materials. Yeah, always appreciated, but not really fully necessary for how it is that we're playing the game anyway. Unless you got some stuff that will help me make poison arrows, in which case, bring it on. It's a dirt path leading that away. It would be nice to be able to get a map of the area, but don't know how or where we got it in the other areas. I want to say there was a tower or something on the map. It's probably this. It was a lighthouse, I think. So that's our goal down there. First, let's see what's going on here. Oh, this is the church. Duh. Okay. Let's see if he can take the scrolls. Or the scroll, I should say.
Back to learn another? Why, of course.
No. So I assume we would have to go give it to... What is her name? Sorceress Selin. Okay, we probably can't just go straight there. No, definitely not. So we're obviously going to have to go around. I don't see any of those vortexes. That right there looks like another Everjail. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. That's definitely the Academy of Raya Lucaria there. Oh, again, I've not mentioned this for a few episodes, but if there's one word that I think could be used to describe the world of this game, it's overwhelming. It's just so massive. And it's not, oh, and I was thinking about this the other day. It's not so massive in the same way that, you know, the world of Skyrim, you know, I keep making the Skyrim comparison, but so to return to that, it's not so massive in the same way. In the sense that in Skyrim, yeah, there are some places that are impassable, but you can usually trick your way around it by just jumping around with your horse or whatever on a mountain. And, you know, in the vast majority of the world, there's not really anything going on. Like, there are quest markers and things that sort of random events that happen, but not in the same way that they do in this game. In this game, you know, you can make a marker on the map, and good luck getting there without, like, yeah, having to deal with a million different things before you get there. Whereas here, in this game, it's just, there's always things. If only I had a lovable sword. There are always things between you and where you want to go. And perhaps you could just hop on your horse and make it a lot easier that way, but at least I've not found it so easy thus far. Thank you. What is her name again? Aurelia. Oh no. These friends look similar to those that we saw in Caelid. But I don't think they're wearing the same gear. It's that they're fit, like they look like they're hollowed in the same manner as those friends were. Unless this is like Sorcerer's Set or something. Yeah, thus far I'm finding this area a lot more manageable than Caelid was. Caelid, I had no sense of how we were going to do that with the amount of damage we were doing. Just did not seem doable. And I'm sure it is. It just didn't feel like it for me. Glintstone Craftsman Cookbook. A record of crafting techniques left by a glintstone craftsman who served the academy. Contains information on foe sorceries, such as they were called. Acquire the knowledge to craft the following. Cuckoo glintstone. Okay, another item we didn't read was the greatsword. A coarse iron lump of an ultra greatsword mows down foes by utilizing its incredible weight. Though handling it likely requires the wielder to have surpassed the realm of the merely human, it is precisely for this reason the weapon is used to slaughter even inhuman foes. Stamp Upward Cut is the special ability. I don't think, if we had the ability to re-level, the strength requirements are 31, so we'd have to two-hand it. Wow, so that is 214. Let's see the moveset. Yeah, more or less what I expected. Overhead for the charged R2. And backstep. Roll R1. Oh, fat rolling. Okay, I love the roll R1. Yeah, I don't know if we have the upgrade materials to upgrade it though, so I think we'll probably leave this for now. But if we are going to switch to a strength weapon, I think we'll need to find... Thank you, Jellyfish Friend. Aurelia. I think we'll need to find an item that will allow us to reallocate our levels. Because then we could reallocate everything into strength and use that quite effectively, I think. I do enjoy just using an ultra great sword. Okay. Yeah, because for some of those larger enemies, I think we need something that does a little bit more damage. The quality halberd has been very good to us thus far, but we might be better off, having something with a bit more punch. Okay, so some of the same enemies that we saw in Laskyar Lake. Okay, there's a site of grace. And that looks like a merchant friend. Liurnia Lake shore. So is this a lake? Huh. Hello.
You're new around here. Surprised you found me in my little nook. No matter, no matter. Your money's as good as anyone else's. Why don't you take a look at my wares? Oh, but don't ask me how I got my hands on them, eh?
Okay, friend. I will have a look at your wares. But I'm wondering how you got your hands on them. Lantern. A small waste-worn lantern that illuminates surroundings. Use once to turn on and again to turn off. While its light is dimmer than that of a torch, it has the advantage of freeing up the user's hands. Very nice. Nomadic Warriors Cookbook 11. Which has Crystal Dart, Spellproof Dried Spellproof Dried Liver, Shatter Shard Arrow. Estoc. Astrologer Hood. As well as the Kite Shield. Astrologer's Staff. A staff of the astrologers. A glintstone is embedded in the tip, enabling it to be used as a catalyst for sorceries. Sorceries must be memorized first at a site of lost grace, and a staff must be equipped to cast them. Kite Shield. A standard medium-sized metal shield. Metal shields reliably negate physical damage when guarding, a trait which makes them highly trusted on the battlefield. Hood fashioned from supple cloth, worn by those who look to the cosmos above. They read fate in the stars and are said to be heirs of the glintstone sorcerers. But alas, the night sky no longer cradles fate. Same thing with the robe and the gloves. Yeah, same description all around. Okay, we're going to want that lantern for sure. So let's sell some souls. Again, I'm probably going to call them souls throughout the entirety of the playthrough. Runes. Okay. Might as well buy all of these. Okay, nice chatting with you, friend. Okay, let's have a rest. So first priority should absolutely be... Yeah, these graves are sideways, because why wouldn't they be? Should absolutely be to get a map of the area. So let's just disregard everything, head for the map. Oh. Okay. That's no good. Ouch. Is there sorcerers gone awry or something? My goodness, I'm sure we'll figure that out eventually. Okay, map. Liurnia East. Can't remember, is there an item description associated with that? Oh, there is. The majority of Liurnia, known for its vast forests and ever-present fog, is sinking into a lake. The eastern coast is home to a high road running north and south. Okie dokie. Wow, this place is also quite eerie. Glintstone Firefly. Once more, the soundscape is like, ugh, eerie. Oh, it's a crab. Oh no, it's another one of these friends. Okay. Really have to pay attention. They come at you very quickly. Rip friend. Okay. Wow, holy moly, this really does open up. Wow. Opens up the map. Wow, okay, every time we get a new map, I guess it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh, again, overwhelming. So, another sort of Erd tree surrounded by a bunch of minor Erd trees. There's a cave entrance there. Finker Reader Crone. Some sort of castle. Another cave. Wow, there's so much to explore. This looks like the Divine Tower of the area. Funny that we don't actually have the name of the area yet. Okie dokie, wow. There is lots to explore. Interestingly, though, this entire area is basically... Yeah, it's not basically uncharted. We don't have a map for it. So, question is, do we go back? Don't tell me, please tell me it's not a giant lobster. Oh my god, it's a giant lobster. Why? Why, FromSoft? Oh my goodness. Yeah, so that's definitely the Divine Tower. Oh, have to either go fight monstrous dogs and birds with teeth. Giant lobster. Hold on, lobster friend. I got an alluring skull here. No. You know, lobster friend, I don't blame you for being mad. I'd be mad too. If I had to live my life inside of some tank, just wait for someone to come and pick me out. Ouch. Take me home and boil me in a pot. I would also be very upset. What? Okay, it's now, what day is it? Wednesday, September the 7th. I started recording this episode on Sunday, the 4th. And yeah, I was a little bit out of it on Sunday, just really tired. It was the first Sunday in a long time where I didn't really have anything going on. And I don't know if any of you have ever had those days where, you know, you've just been going nonstop for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then you have a day where you just, yeah, your body just crashes. That's, you know, it's not an excuse. But yeah, after I died to the lobster, I was just like, I can't play today. I just couldn't do it. And, you know, obviously that came on the heels of us getting our rear end handed to us in the Rotview Balcony and associated areas. So, yeah, I decided I would just, well, on the day of, I was like, okay, I'll just take a break. I'll eat some lunch, or was it dinner? One of the two. And then said, yeah, I'll just come back to it. And then I was just too tired. I couldn't do it. So, we're back. It's a few days later. I'm tired in a different way today. Didn't sleep tremendously well yesterday, but not tired in the same manner that I was on Sunday, which was, you know, I was mentally and physically exhausted. Today I don't know what you would say, not fully mentally exhausted, more sort of emotionally exhausted, just with things going on in my life right now, but, you know, nothing that I haven't already complained about in this playthrough, just job stuff. But yeah, we have some decisions to make in this playthrough, because in this episode I've already gone from thinking, okay, we would proceed in this area, to completely giving up on it and thinking, oh my gosh, our weapon is completely ineffectual here, seemingly. To, okay, maybe we should go to Liurnia of the Lakes. What's it called? Liurnia of the Lakes. So I wonder what the Liurnia is. But anyways, I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. So I came here thinking, okay, yeah, surely the level 3 upgrade materials would have to be somewhere around here. Only to, of course, have my rear end handed to me by that lobster. I do want to return to the lobster at some point, because much like the bird story I told earlier in this playthrough a couple episodes ago, and the slug story I told in my Demon Souls playthrough, I do actually have a lobster story, but it's less like, oh my gosh, these monsters are out to get me, and more of like a cute, or at least I think it's cute, childhood story. So anyways, so we have a decision to make. And originally I was thinking we have this golden halberd here, but we haven't really been leveling, like, our build is going to be very poorly optimized if we do this. Ideally, we would have 14 dex or whatever it is we require for the bow. How much is it? 14 dex. And then the rest of those levels would be in strength, because this is very heavily favoring strength. And obviously dex scaling on it is virtually non-existent. I don't think we can infuse this weapon. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think we can. And yeah, face scaling is not tremendous, but it does have D in faith. So... Oh, and it does come equipped with holy damage. So again, like, our build is going to be so poorly optimized, but at this point, I'm not sure what else to do, because this weapon, it does not tell you, I don't think, guard boost. Can we look at explanation? What is guard boost? I'm going to assume that is poise damage. The stability of the character... Oh, okay, so never mind. This is damage negation. The stability of a character's defense. The higher this value, the smaller the... Okay, so what I was looking for was something like the stagger ability of the weapon. And just based on the size alone, this has to be... This looks like it has the Great Scythe moveset. I could be remembering that wrong, although it doesn't have an overhead R2. So, of course, our parrying ability will be severely compromised, because we'll have to parry and then switch to this and then riposte. I'm not terribly confident in my ability to do that. And what's more is that if we end up finding a better weapon between now and whenever, then we're going to have to come to grips with the fact that we wasted our somber smithing stones on this weapon, which I want to say we earned by taking out the tree sentinel. So, my other hesitation with this weapon, and it's a really stupid one, which is we got it very early in the game, so I was thinking of it sort of as like a Drake Sword equivalent. Drake Sword in Dark Souls 1 you get by cutting the Hellkite Drake's tail, or the Hellkite Wyvern, whatever the heck they are. And yeah, it's a great weapon in the early game for new players especially, but it, you know, in the medium, pretty much up until Anor Londo, it's great, but then after that it's dreadful. So I didn't want to waste upgrade materials on a weapon similar to that, but don't know if we have a choice at this point. The other possibility is that we could upgrade the greatsword we received. Like, obviously we have many possibilities, but in terms of the weapons I typically enjoy using, this would be another good one, except it's even heavier. 23 versus 13. Wow, so much heavier. And so that would make us fat roll, heavy roll, and then we would have to maybe use the talisman for equip burden, which would be this one, Arsenal Charm. But yeah, we would have to use normal smithing stones for that. So I think, all things considered, I could have just done this off camera, but I figured you all might be interested in hearing my logic in just suddenly showing up with some completely different weapon. Well, that's what we're going to do. So let's give it a shot, throwing caution to the wind here. And so I'm going to assume that Somber Smithing Stone has a different upgrade path than... So similar to Twinkling Titanite friends, or sorry, Twinkling Titanite, I was saying friends, items like weaponry that you upgrade with Twinkling Titanite in the Dark Souls games. The maximum level for Somber Smithing Stone weaponry appears to be lower. So first level is up to +3, this is +1, +6, +2. So I want to say that a fully upgraded Somber Smithing Stone weapon would probably be something like +5. Although maybe it's +10, because this goes all the way up to +12, which suggests to me that there are some chunk equivalent, like a Titanite chunk, which would upgrade you to plus 14, and then you would have a slab of some sort for plus 15. So I'm not sure yet. I'm sure we could figure it out by going to the achievements for the game, but I don't want to risk spoilers once more. So let's have a look at the difference. So two-handed halberd, we're doing 248. And two-handed golden halberd, we're now doing 347. So 99 points better our damage with this. Obviously, there are going to potentially be issues in and around this, but yeah, we need the additional damage based on our experience in Caelid, the Caelid Wilds, I think they're called, instead of just, or perhaps it's just Caelid. So now, a couple things that I noticed in between stopping the recording after getting killed by the lobster and today. One of those things is this chest here. I went back and looked at the recording. It was a chest, not the one that was near the Rampart Tower, and that was behind a swordstone key door. But there was another one that was right near the lift side chamber. You go out into this courtyard area and then down into another little tunnel, lower area in which there is once again a swordstone key area that you could unlock and then get that chest. And so we've done that, so we can now finally remove that marker because, yeah, I actually finally went back and found the point at which I created it. So yeah, I've already decided we're going to call this area Liurnia of the Lakes 1. So I guess we don't really have any other choice but to proceed there. I am wondering though, in terms of maps, so there's a whole bunch of stuff here that we could potentially explore. I'm going to assume this is the Divine Tower for Liurnia of the Lakes. So really no point in going there just yet, but there's a whole array of things here that look interesting and worth exploring, at least insofar as you can tell based on the map alone. However, the story, the guidance of grace, which is something I am interested in talking about a little bit further as we proceed, is leading in this direction, into the lake and at the lobster friends. So yeah, as much as I'd like to avoid it a little bit further, let's go see how our additional damage, whether it actually makes that much of a difference. Okie dokie. Lobsters. When I was a kid, lobster was my absolute favorite dish, and I joked about lobsters earlier in the playthrough, when I believe with reference to the crab that we came across. Pointed out that, you know, we have this, oh, the heck? Do we have to go around to get there, I wonder? Or can we get up there on Torrent? That, and, you know, maybe there's some way of making lobsters I'm not aware of that makes them delicious in the absence of butter, but I do find it funny that so much of, you know, what makes lobster worth eating is that you just dip it in butter. And so it's not, of course, the most healthy food in the world, but you know, again, I'm sure there are ways to make it that are healthy, but yeah, it was nevertheless my favorite food as a kid, or my favorite thing to eat, I should say, because I guess lobster's not, it's a thing you eat, but it's not technically a food per se. Oh, yeah. I assume we're going to have to get that from above. And how many echoes? Okay, echoes, gosh darn it, runes do we have? I was wondering whether we should, I guess we could purchase an arrow or two.
No.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Shows how confident I am in my ability to persist in this area without dying. Of course, I did grab my runes off camera after I paused my recording. But yeah, lobster. when I was a kid, I absolutely loved lobster. And I think it was, a scarcity thing in that, it's obviously kind of expensive. So not something you purchase or eat every day unless you're, I guess, rich or something like that. But, and you just really enjoy lobster. Or perhaps you live in Atlantic Canada or some other area where lobsters are plentiful. Yeah, I forgot about these friends. Thankfully, they can be backstabbed, though. And so, I'm sure it was, at least in part, a scarcity thing, but on my dad used to do this thing where when it was our birthday, I want to say I've mentioned this before, but I am one of 5 kids. So, big family. Oh my gosh, okay. Yeah, one downside to this weapon right away is that it's slow. So trading is a bit more problematic. But yeah, definitely much more powerful. And so, when you have 5 kids, I guess it's not really tenable to take everyone out for a birthday dinner when your kid's birthday comes up. And so, my dad actually had a pretty smart system, which is to say that when it was your birthday, you got to go out for dinner with him, and obviously we spent a lot of time together, so it wasn't like a special event in that sense, but it was just a nice thing. And we usually got to pick where we wanted to go, like obviously within reason. Like he wasn't going to go with us to Chuck E. Cheese or something, just the two of us. I suppose I never asked, so maybe he would have, but but for me, there was never any question as to where I wanted to go, and that was in Canada. At least, I don't know if this is also a thing in the States, but in Canada we have a restaurant called Red Lobster, and so just I don't want to say a low-end lobster place, but it's certainly not a high-end place. It's more just like a family-type restaurant. And yeah, we'd go to Red Lobster pretty much every year for my birthday and share a lobster and just absolutely just devoured it every time. And, I'm not telling this story from my memory. This is my dad's memory, because I guess as, making memories at that point, certainly I remember enough, it's clear enough in my mind that I remember going and, taking every opportunity to go to Red Lobster and to have lobster, but not so much so that I remember every detail. But I have it on good authority from my dad that one of the times we went, I would have been about 5 or something like that, 4 or 5, maybe 6. And we were sitting there splitting our lobster, and I was, I guess just, getting, not upset, but like, you start to get towards the end of the meal, and you're just thinking, oh my gosh, like, so good, such a great meal, I can't believe it's almost over, and it's going to be an entire year until we go back to Red Lobster again and have more lobster. And so I turned to my dad and I said, you know what I would do, Dad, if I were you? And he said, what? I said, if I were you, I would order a lobster and eat it all myself. Like, to me, that was peak adulthood, having a lobster all to yourself. And he said he had a good chuckle at that, and he found it adorable. And yeah, like, it's such a silly thing that you think, can obviously go and do that now. And, I've not gone back since and said, oh, I'm going to have an entire lobster to myself. But map ahead. Well, thank you, friend. That's very kind. Unless this is the one. Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've already gotten this one, actually. Which I think is why that beacon is there. But yeah, it's just such a 4 or 5-year-old thing to say, I think. The idea that, like, the music just got all spooky. The idea that it's like the holy grail of going out is having a lobster all to yourself. And yeah, just thought I would share that. Because, clearly I'm telling stories about my interactions with all these other sorts of animals. So I figured, why not tell my lobster story after I got obliterated by one the other day? Although, so I mentioned earlier, I said, it's not a story about, like, me having an aggressive interaction with a creature, but I guess technically it is, because when you think about how it is that we interact with lobsters, it's kind of dreadful. Like, you go and you pick out a lobster from a tank, and then they effectively are boiled alive, and it's not nice. Not nice at all. So, maybe that was the lobster's revenge. What the heck? Whoa. So, I guess those friends come not only in... I want to say some of them were using halberds, but clearly that one was also using some sort of... I wonder if that was the black flame we read about in one of the item descriptions. I think it was this. Sacred Seal of the Godskin Apostles, inlaid with obsidian, said to represent the manipulation of black flame. This catalyst enhances Godslayer incantations. So I wonder if that was one such incantation, but I suppose we'll find out eventually. But yeah, again, I don't mean for this playthrough to devolve into, aren't we awful to animals? But, these are some of the things that I have thought about when, over the course of the entire life of my channel anyways, for those of you who are maybe not, have not been around, I've always sort of explored these games through the lens of the things that I'm currently working on, the things that I'm interested in, the things that have influenced me in my personal and professional lives. And, I wouldn't say I disappeared, but after I completed my Sekiro blind playthrough, there was a period of time during which I was largely just working on my doctoral thesis, and I was quite far behind at that point, such that I just needed to focus and finish it. And okay, this is one of the friends from the loading screen. I remember seeing a particularly ghoulish looking friend on horseback, and it looked, if I recall correctly, they were sort of standing in a lake, so I'm going to assume that's them. But yeah, so I guess in the time between my Sekiro blind playthrough and the present, I, spent a lot of time reading and learning about indigenous epistemologies and ways of being and knowing, and just trying to better understand how their way of living in the world is entangled with their way of knowing the world, because of course we can't separate ourselves from the world. So despite what Western thinkers since the Enlightenment have thought and asserted that we have to separate ourselves from nature, that that's what makes us unique, is our ability to set ourselves apart from nature. But in my view, and in context of my field of study, we understand science and technology as being thoroughly embedded in our societies and cultures and ways of knowing, and not something that's really separable from them. So in that context, if you're learning about indigenous ways of knowing, you are also learning about and our special ability with this weapon is different as well. I think it's the Golden Vow. So it grants self and nearby allies increased attack power and defense. So that's interesting. So in the process of learning all that stuff, I do wonder if this is going to be a boss fight, though. Although, they do just have a normal life bar. No, there's nothing to see here, friend. So in learning about all of these, in particular those of the indigenous communities of the Pacific Northwest, the Coast Salish peoples, that how they have related from time immemorial to today with the Pacific salmon and other marine wildlife. Yeah, it's remarkable. You learn a lot about how, for instance, to preserve a species of fish by just learning how it is that they related to these fish, and the respect and reverence they paid to the fish, and how that, you know, it's tied obviously to, depending on the indigenous people we're talking about, they all have unique but somewhat related, based on geography and culture and other things, their creation stories, and many of those creation stories have to do with salmon, and embedded in those stories are very important lessons about conservation, about not taking more than you need and not exceeding the potential of an ecosystem to replenish itself. And that is one of the things that I talked about earlier in this playthrough, but didn't really come around to the point of the discussion, which is that I would feel, you know, and I guess this is to some degree to absolve me of any guilt I may feel for having just destroyed friends who are out in the world, and that is, in this game, you can destroy things, you know, with a few exceptions. You can kill wildlife that is out in the open world. You can go sit at a site of grace, and they come right back. So there's no potential to, at least not as far as I'm aware, there's no potential to deplete a particular ecosystem of its resources. I see a site of grace over there. So in that context, it's really hard to, you know, you can't really make an argument that it's somehow immoral to kill things in the open world. That doesn't mean I'm going to do it, of course, but if there is, you know, and I have the same issue with, issue is maybe too strong a word, but in the context of, say, like Grand Theft Auto and other kind of open world games like that, where you can make an argument that, oh, it's terrible how people play these games and they just sort of run people down and keep going as though it's nothing, and, you know, they're murder simulators and things like that. And obviously those are not things I believe. I think it's more complicated than that. However, I think it's very difficult to care about the life of an NPC if you go around the corner and that NPC just ceases to exist because the game just unloads them. There's no, they're not attached to a social network. There's no one in the world who is going to be upset or distraught by the loss of their loved one. So, you know, I think there are ways to create these sort of trade-offs in games, and to really make players think twice about how it is they interact with the world and its inhabitants. I don't know that any game has really accomplished that in any meaningful way, though. Okay, this is Laskyar Ruins. And so once again, the guidance of grace is pointing in that direction. So the question is, do we go over to the other side of the lake, Glintstone Craftsman's Cookbook, and re-engage with the lobster? I think we don't really have a choice at this point, but let's read this item description first. A record of crafting techniques left by a glintstone craftsman who served the academy contains information on faux sorceries, such as they were called. Acquire the knowledge to craft the following: freezing grease. So I wonder if that's the equivalent of frost in this game. So yeah, I would be very interested, I think, in seeing a game where, and I guess, you know, to some degree Dark Souls 2 did this. Where did that go? Yeah, to some degree Dark Souls 2 did this, in that, you know, after a certain number of you could kill an enemy or friend a certain number of times, and then they would just disappear until you either went to the next new game cycle or used the bonfire aesthetic at the bonfire. And so to some degree, it was possible to, deplete the area of certain things. But, in that game, there was really no crafting economy such as it is in this game. And so, in that context, once again, there's really no, again, you could probably make the argument that the friends in the game were all, that the friends in the game were wildlife, and we talked about this earlier in this playthrough, that you could classify them as wildlife just based on sort of... Oh, that's bad. Okay, that actually did not hurt very much at all. I was expecting that to hurt a great deal. Music just got all weird there for a second. Music seems overly dramatic given the situation that we're in. But yeah, so, in Dark Souls 2, like, because you're not, I guess maybe you do farm particular enemies for particular items. So in that case, you could perhaps make an argument that you are maybe engaging in poor relations with particular friends. I think as long as these... They remind me of some of the friends that were in the Ringed City. As long as they're not leaping at you, I think you're more or less okay. Just try to, not be directly in front of them. I feel like this is a job for Jellyfish Friend, Aurelia, but obviously can't summon her here for some reason. Oh, I meant to jump there. So yeah, in other words, that's why, because, obviously I've been, for my doctoral research and as well for my postdoctoral research, I spent a lot of time thinking about these things. And so in that context, playing a game like this, it really, just made me think, what if there were a game where you actually had to think twice about those types of decisions and there were consequences to what it is you did in the open world? And, there are games, to some degree, games like Skyrim, and to some degree, games like Dark Souls accomplish that, but, and by Dark Souls, I mean all the Souls games, but, because, like, you can kill an NPC, and then the NPC is gone, and you have to just deal with the consequences of that, unless, of course, it's Dark Souls 2, and then you can just pray at one of those gravestones that get erected where they are killed, but, yeah, anyways. Something for future game developers who may or may not be watching this to consider, I suppose. Although, beautiful, this place. Although I doubt any future game developers will, probably should not listen to me, because if they did, I'm sure it would be a weird game. All the people in the game would be referred to as friends, and it would be strange. So, up until a couple of seconds ago, I wonder if that's the equivalent in this area. Oh, I probably should have checked to see if there was a buff associated with it. It looked like the light that is emitted by prism stones, or whatever they're called in this game. Rainbow stones. And yeah, it's at night, so I wonder if each area has its own particular buff. That looks like a developer message over here. Oh, yeah, okay, never mind. It's just sort of all over the place. But it doesn't look like there's a buff associated with it. I think that's just the design of the area, I guess. Try healing. Okay, so clearly there's something going on over there. Oh yeah, I guess we really don't need this. We don't need the finger seal anymore. So I guess we can re-equip the torch. We're also not presently really using our bow and arrows, so we can use this, which raises holy attack but lowers damage negation. Actually, that gives us a decent boost, so we should, yeah, probably equip that and just hope that we don't come across anyone who's doing holy damage. When we were facing the putrid avatar in the previous episode, I want to say that's probably because I believe the attack that the putrid avatar was using was a holy attack, the one with the beams and you had to dodge left and right. So I don't think I verbalized it in the episode itself, but that's essentially, I was just accepting the trade-off between the damage boost and the glass cannon nature of the power-up, which is to say it makes your character fragile, but, you know, a bit more powerful from a damage perspective. Okay, so there's the... I was just hoping we get a better angle on... I've also learned that we want to stay far away from their... whatever that thing is they shoot out. It's quite powerful. Beam thing. So annoyingly, you know, ironically, the video editing and everything up to this point in the series has been relatively uneventful. Oh no. Oh, I shouldn't have started running. Oh, just panic dodging, and it did not pay off whatsoever. Gosh darn it. Right back where we started, essentially. Oh my goodness. I got absolutely wrecked. I wish we could summon Jellyfish Friend here. I think that would make life a bit easier. Absolutely breathtaking, this game at times. Again, I'm running at lower. I think this is much lower than 60 FPS. And that's not in the capture. That's in the game. So again, massive performance issues since this most recent patch. I don't know if it's that we've come to a point in the game where the performance issues are more pronounced, or if this is just sort of what we have to expect from this game, or if that patch just completely broke stuff. So I'm sure it's a combination of those things, but yeah, even still, I'd say this game remains absolutely breathtaking. Even if it does take you out of it, at least it does for me. It takes me out of it a little bit when, yeah, you just have these massive performance hiccups. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do here? I wonder if they can be backstabbed. Oh, that hurts. So one of their claws is damaged. Oh gosh darn it. Too early. gosh darn it. Once again, I'm left wondering if... Did this lobster, like, escape a pot or something where someone was trying to eat them? Because, you know, I've never actually studied lobsters. I've studied salmon, so I could be completely wrong when saying this, but I want to say that a lobster's natural color is not red, but black, and that the only reason we associate... no. The only reason we think about lobsters as being red is that they're red when we boil them. And this friend looks like they're kind of red. So is someone trying to eat them and then... It would be hard to blame them for being upset. Can't imagine being boiled alive would be a very pleasant experience. Gosh darn it. Okay. We're not doing nearly enough damage. Oh, gosh darn it. Okay, it all comes down to this. Oh. Okay, I know I said that whole thing about only eating lobsters with butter, and that, you know, that's really the only way I'm familiar with eating lobsters, and that remains true. However, I'm wondering whether it might be worth trying to eat this lobster with cheese. So, let's see. Okay. I did not expect them to be that easily cheesed. That was literally just a last-ditch effort to kill this friend without losing all of my recording time today. I almost don't want to. I almost just want to let the poison run its course, but I'm afraid they're going to wake up at a certain point. I didn't realize that using cheese, maybe the lobster is lactose intolerant. Because, yeah. Well done, Regret. You, you did it. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't glamorous, but you had to do what you had to do. Because I have no earthly idea where we are in this episode in terms of recording time. Okay, they eventually woke up. Oh my gosh, we did it. I can't believe it. It was way easier than it should have. Oh, you boys, are you joking me? All of that for a strip of white flesh. Okay, I'm really glad we cheesed them now. That was not even remotely worth it. Okay, there's some sort of base or fortification here. I thought the shoreline would be sort of a cliff, but it looks like it's actually just a shoreline all the way across. So for now, let's stick to the other side of the lake where we just were. Maybe we just warp there. No, it's not that far. I'm actually not sure if we even... Whoa, this is different. Or have we been here? It's hard to tell. Yeah, I was mentioning that up until this point in the playthrough, the video editing side of the playthrough has been relatively uneventful. That is until, ironically, the shortest episode of the playthrough. So the episodes up until this point have ranged from, on the long end, almost 3 hours, not quite 3 hours, I think 2 hours 50 something, to, at the short end, in episode, I think it was 12. Episode 12 was about an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 20 odd minutes. Okay, I'm just trying to get my bearings here. I believe the Site of Grace is to our right. Oh no, that's the initial Site of Grace. Okay, so the one we're looking for is here. So, up until this point, like, I've had a couple of rendering crashes. Rendering crashes are a major pain in the rear because, you know, sometimes, and especially when you have a computer that's a bit lower end, like mine, you can spend all night rendering a video, wake up in the morning ready to upload it, and then discover that it crashed at the last minute and you have no idea what happened. And that happens to me semi-regularly, which is, yeah, giant pain in the rear, but... until such time as maybe the monetization for this channel takes off and becomes a bit more substantial, I just sort of have to stick with what I have, which is a relatively modest computer with a dreadful video card that does more or less what I need it to do, but doesn't do it exceptionally well. And isn't really capable of playing any sorts of games or anything like that with a decent level of performance. I guess these friends become troublesome when there's a whole bunch of them. And this one's eyes are all... I feel like we've seen that before. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Great Violet. And yeah, so long story short, I've been having major problems rendering episode 13. And so I've finished editing episode 13, episode 14, and this, I believe, is episode 15. And so I have no earthly idea how long this episode is going to be, in part because, I've spent additional time that I would have spent editing the episode up to this point. I spent that time just trying to figure out what's going on with episode 13 and why it's not rendering properly. My first attempt at rendering the episode was unsuccessful. Not just unsuccessful, like weird in that I got to a certain point in the episode and then suddenly the audio just cut to the end of the episode. And so... there was still half an hour, 40 minutes left, but the audio cut basically to the exit greeting of the episode. And then after that audio finished, there was nothing left. It was just like video with no audio. So, I guess in the grand scheme of things, it hasn't been too problematic, the editing process, but the more time I spend editing, the less time I'm able to spend actually playing and recording the game. So... playing the game and recording episodes for this playthrough, I should say. So, obviously, I'm trying, as I mentioned in a much earlier episode, to keep that to a minimum, keep the editing time to a minimum. And, I've been relatively successful in doing that up to this point, save for, these rendering issues. So, don't really have any point in bringing that up other than to complain. So, I hope you don't mind me venting about that a little bit. My other major point of complaint in this playthrough up to this point has obviously been the job situation. Yeah, this weapon, I think, is doing us quite a service when compared to the plain old quality halberd we were using. Now we just have to hope that we get our hands on a soul vessel type item so that we can reroll our stats, because we are far from... Our build is far from ideal, our stat allocation right now, I should say. And so I have got a part-time position. I mentioned in an earlier episode I was between contracts. So I anticipated at that point in time, I didn't say anything because it wasn't done yet. I anticipated at that point in time that I was going to get a contract on a part-time basis to complete a literature review for the same school where I was doing my postdoc. And so I've started working on that, but you know, at the same time I've been working on is this a new Site of Grace? No, we've already got that one. At the same time, I've still been working on trying to find full-time work, and just, yeah, it's just been dreadful. Just so dreadful. And really quite demoralizing. And I understand that lots of people are going through it right now. It's certainly not just me, but just given how long I've been looking and the amount of time I've spent doing applications and Endless, aka Alex, who did the Let's Talk Lore theme. The music you hear at the beginning of Let's Talk Lore, that was completed by a longtime friend of the channel named Alex. And Alex very kindly contacted me to just provide some words of encouragement for my job search, and pointed out that, you know, sometimes it's just, yeah, you really just need to practice and keep practicing with your interviews. And you know, it's totally understandable to be awkward in job interviews, because job interviews are an awkward thing, and you just have to keep at it, and you have to keep applying and keep interviewing and keep practicing, and then eventually you'll land something. And yeah, very kind advice. I've taken it on board and just trying my best to continue remaining positive and trusting my credentials and my expertise and my, you know, all the skills that I've accumulated over the years. But yeah, obviously it's not easy. It's never easy. But, you know, at least I am doing something now. It's a part-time thing, so I'm only doing 20 odd hours a week with that. And then the rest of my time I'm spending looking for and applying for full-time work. I am potentially, you know what, I guess maybe I'll I'll take the same approach and let you know when the deal is done, so to speak, about what I may or may not have planned next, just so as not to potentially jinx anything. Not that I believe in jinxes, but anyways. Okay, so I suppose this is the problem with the open world part of the game, is that I sort of wander and meander a little bit, but because of that, oh, this friend is a bit more agile than the other one, although I think we caught the other one off guard. Wasn't sure if we got them both at once there. But because I end up having to think of conversation topics, things to talk about while walking around in the open world, I end up meandering a little bit more, and then it just sort of creates this vicious cycle where I'm wandering around in the open world because I don't really know where to go and what to do. And then the open world takes longer because I'm chatting, but because I'm in the open world and it's taken a long time, I'm chatting more and more to try and fill the silence and the gaps. But yeah, I don't think there's really any perfect way. Well, you are different. I don't think there's really any perfect way to do a playthrough of this game, because I think no matter what I do, people will be disappointed. Oh, they're coming in through a portal of some sort. That's interesting. I think some people will be keen on... Oh my goodness, okay. Oh my goodness, okay. Now I see why... Whoops. Now I see why that one message said, try healing up and then forward or something like that. But yeah, I'm sure there are some people who are going to, you know, hopefully anyway, enjoy all of the open world exploration and all of the episodes, watch all of them, enjoy them all. But I've no doubt there will be many people who will only, whoa, you nice teleportation move there, friend. Who will no doubt be primarily interested in... Oh, I thought I dodged that. Oh my gosh. I don't even know how I'm supposed to fight this thing. My goodness. Okay. This is an unexpected challenge. Thankfully, our runes are a little bit closer this time. Not really sure how to handle this. Gosh darn it. Grave Violet. I think we've already read that, but I just want to get a sense of who these people are. A purple flower that blooms in graveyards. Material used for crafting items. The hue of ghost flame. It's believed to be useful in calling forth spirits. So in addition to the item description, something that obviously I'm missing by not doing a lot of crafting is the lore that you get from what you use to create certain items. Oh, get out of here, you silly mosquito, whatever the heck you were. Because yeah, if you knew what specific spells they were using, or what they were using that to craft, you might learn something else about them, but I don't know of any quick and easy way to get that information at the moment. Yeah, I'm really at a loss for how to deal with this friend here. So much so that I'm going in the wrong direction. Oh, gosh darn. Please. Are you also teleporting? I don't even know where it went. Oh! Riveting gameplay, this. Thank goodness. So yeah, again, like I said, really no good way, I don't think, of making a playthrough for this game, other than to just do everything and, you know, let everyone decide what they want to watch and what they don't want to watch. Because I do suspect there will be a fair number of people who only want to watch areas like Stormville Castle and whatever the Liurnia of the Lakes castle ends up being, like the major areas at the end of the minor areas. That's my suspicion anyway. I was hoping that would maybe spawn that other friend, but it doesn't look like it does that. Thank you. Because... You know, I suppose, because I was going to say it would be nice to be able to take out all of these secondary friends before we deal with that main one, but the problem is that even when we were fighting it alone, there was really nothing we could do. We were almost completely helpless. So I don't know how the heck we're supposed to deal with this situation. Ritual pot, beautiful. Always got time for alluring skulls. Oh, there's a portal there. Wormhole. Okay, interesting. I've been calling it a wormhole, really not based on anything other than the fact that it's a circular portal. Aurelia, I need you. Good old jellyfish friend. Okay. I'm trying to just, like, avoid going into the middle. Oh, beautiful. What is this? No enemy yet, thank you. Although, that might do away with jellyfish friend. Oh no, she's still here, okay. Oh, please tell me this is not trapped. Wraith Calling Bell. Bell used by worshippers of revenants. Ring bell using FP to summon prowling wraiths. This can be done multiple times in a row. Wraiths are said to be the vengeful spirits of those who died when cursed. Okay, we have a couple of words to look up here. It's time for Fun with Definitions. Revenant, as a noun, means a person who has returned, especially supposedly, from the dead. And wraith is, as a noun, a ghost or ghost-like image of someone, especially one seen shortly before or after their death. So, wraiths are said to be... Okay, interesting. But what is the cost of using it? There has to be a cost associated with it. Oh, FP. Okay, that makes sense. So I wonder how helpful that's actually going to be. Oh. Okay, interesting. So that's not Black Flame, but a Revenant or a Wraith. That's interesting. Okay. Not as helpful as I was hoping it would be against this monstrous friend here. Because I'm at a loss as to what the heck we're supposed to do. I have no idea if that buffs our friend or not, but worth a shot. Okay. Yeah, again, I have no idea how far we are into this episode. Simply because... all the problems I've had rendering. Absolutely obliterated. Oh no, I'm dead. Wow, okay. I think, yeah, we have to take off or take out all of the supporting friends before we stand any chance against them. Obviously, they're guarding the wormhole. So we could just sneak by and go in the wormhole, see where it takes us, but I assume they're also meant to drop something. So yeah, we might as well give it another shot. Thankfully, you have to be pretty close to their spawn point in order to get them to spawn, so there was a bit of leniency. And like, I mean, a bit, tiny shred of grace they give you. Pun not initially intended, but I'll take it. What the heck? Come on. Regret was sleeping at the wheel there for a second. Okay, I'm scared. I'm really scared. Okay, jellyfish friend. Need you. And we need our flask, stamina regeneration, as well as our weapon buff. Ooh, smithing, so okay. We were in the right area. That's the smithing, exactly the smithing stone we were looking for. Come on, jellyfish friend, help! No! Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't know if that will count or not. Jellyfish friend did it at the last possible second. Thank you, Aurelia. Thank you. Hopefully it sticks now. It doesn't look like it's sticking. Either that or... Gosh darn it. Either it's not sticking or they are multi-time spawn, in which case, why bother? No, at least we didn't spend the whole episode fighting the lobster. I don't know if it's much of an improvement, but... Okay, well, let's take out all the friends around the side again. Ah, tedious this. Okay, come on, jellyfish friend. We've bested scarier beasts than this, friend. No! I feel like that attack they have is specifically designed to counter panic dodges, which I suppose that's fair enough, but gosh darn it. You know, I do wonder if parrying would work. Suppose I haven't tried that. Again, because we switched to this other weapon, of course. I knew that was going to be a major trade-off associated with it, that we would be parrying less. And in some instances, I think that's actually not a bad thing, because obviously I tend to parry spam and it doesn't always work out well. So, I don't know. Well, let's give it one more try. Using the good old-fashioned method of just dodging and attacking. Aw, leave me alone, friends. I have no quarrel with you. Oh my goodness. Yes! Ghost Glovewort level 2. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we did it. Thank you, Aurelia. Jellyfish friend, you are the best. Oh. Let's do it, jellyfish friend. Let's do a little celebration. What do you think? Yes! Yes! We did it! Your celebration is a little bit more muted, but that's okay. Another thing I had sort of, actually don't have physical notes for this episode, but beyond those I've addressed already. But another note I sort of had in my head was, we were in Stormhill a few episodes ago, and I noticed that there were a bunch of jellyfish friends on a hill somewhere. And of course, I mentioned at the time I didn't want to kill any of them, which remains true, of course, but I didn't even go to see what the heck was up there. Church. Okay, interesting. So, yeah, that is something we're going to want to loop back around and do at some point. Don't know if there's anything significant there at all, but just, yeah. In thinking about the various things I've said and done on camera and then failed to follow up about them, that was definitely one of them. Okay, well, while that friend is dead, we might as well go check out the wormhole, which is going to send Aurelia home. So thank you, Aurelia, as always. You are my most trusted companion in this game. I appreciate you very much. Bye, friend. That's interesting. Okay. See, there's another lighthouse here. I think this beacon was from that lighthouse, so we're going to get rid of it. Where is the second beacon? Oh. While I was at Fort Gale North, I noticed there was a little cliff we could just jump up, and there was another base there with the Site of Grace and everything. So that's the second one. So it might be worth backtracking from here to see. Yeah, I'm really intrigued by these wormholes and what they're supposed to accomplish, if anything. Is it just to give players a way of, like, skipping through certain areas? I'm, yeah, really not sure. South Raya Lucaria Gate. So I assume in this instance, target lock required ahead. So we've not paid our admission fees or something. Meeting place map. You found a simple map. Check in inventory. Okay. Yes, boss. I'll do that. Simple map showing a meeting place. Examine using square. Simple map found on a corpse. Seems to point to a meeting place. The man it came from surely desired one. The sole means of gaining entry into the academy. A glintstone key. That looks like it's the Dragon Island. Because it's not far from Stormhill Castle. Or could it be somewhere else? It might be worth going to check. So maybe I'll set a beacon there so that we don't forget. I want to say the shape of the island looks the same. What's missing, however, is another island just to the left of it. The man it came from surely desired one. The sole means of... So, the sole means of gaining entry into the academy is a glintstone key. The man it came... So the corpse on which we found this map surely desired a glintstone key. I think that's what that's saying. It's a little confusingly worded, but... This is the academy, eh? The good old ivory tower. Much like in our world, I imagine it's not quite all it's cracked up to be, and that looks like a poisonous flower, sentient poisonous flower, and probably not as pure as its inhabitants would like to believe, or its exponents would like to believe it is. Okay, interesting. So that's the fire-breathing statue tank thing that we saw in Caelid. So, suggesting either that the force that was dispatched there is the same, was also dispatched here, or that the friends we were seeing there were actually Raya Lucaria forces. Same soldiers and everything. Okay, I'm not sure if we want to test our luck here. Let's go to the Dragon Island and see if that is the meeting place. Hey friends, did you see... Gosh darn it. If I am ever going to do that, sights and sounds of Limgrave, soundscapes of Limgrave thing. I'm gonna need to figure out how to exist among these friends without spooking them. Does this work? Oh my god, it might actually work. Oh no. No, they got spooked. Okay, yeah, I don't think this is the island. Not unless there's a second island nearby. Oh, I thought I had when we were at the... Oh, there is... There does indeed look to be... Unless that's just... Oh, it's probably the Weeping Peninsula. We just don't have the map yet. That's not another island, I don't think. The thought that crossed my mind at the Liurnia of the Lakes is... Oh, very nice. Because, yeah, you can see the stars there, and it looks quite magnificent, but I'm wondering whether anyone who is a professional or amateur astronomer out there has looked at the map, or looked at the skybox when it's dark in the area, to get a sense of whether those are, you know, is that the actual sky that we see here on Earth? I want to imagine it's probably not. This is a shipwreck that we've seen before. It's probably marked on the map. And the... At least insofar as up on this map is north, the... So there is a shipwreck, actually, to the... Or no, it's not so much a shipwreck as it is a, like, sunken city. And to the southwest is the other island. So if we look south... No, I don't think it is. I don't think this is the meeting place. Oh well, it was worth a shot. This was the one island I knew of that we had access to, so might as well give it a shot, but let's head back to the ruins. So where to now? I am curious. I want to see if that friend respawns again. Like, we don't really have any reason to intentionally... Oh, gosh, okay. So in other words, Jellyfish Friend did a great job. The teleporting is kind of annoying, I gotta say. Now I've lost my place. Where the heck is the site of grace? Very easy to get turned around here, because again, I feel like everything looks the same in this area. What the heck? Didn't I just kill you? Okay. Yeah, I've only got maybe... What time is it? Yeah, I've only got maybe 20 minutes of recording time left. So... I only really have time, I think, to go to whatever the next area is, and then that's it for this episode. Again, not 100% sure how long this episode will be at this point. I'm aiming for 2.5 hours. Typically, I just play for as long as I have time to play. And, you know, I mentioned earlier in the playthrough that it was like maybe 3 hours typically was my time slot, and then you account for setup time and everything. The episodes end up being about 2 to 2.5 hours, but there have been some occasions where I've extended a recording session over multiple days. This episode is one such instance, but whereas normally it's because like I wasn't sure that we were in a position to end the episode, in the sense that not enough had happened in that episode in my estimation. But oh, is this a sleep mist? What is this mist? There was no build-up, but that seemed like a tricky thing. Oh, do we want to look for the rest of the map? I feel like that's a dangerous proposition. But I'm not sure how else to identify points of interest, aside from just combing the entire map. And yeah, I find that to be somewhat tedious. I was speaking with Sophie Pilbeam the other day, who you all may remember as JSF. And yeah, we were talking about, I'm going to be on Sophie and Sinclair Lore's YouTube channel again to talk about, oh, looks like we got some demi-humans here, to talk about Bloodborne. They're redoing some of their old videos about Bloodborne. So, oh, there's a turtle here as well. Can't hurt the turtle. Stay away from the turtle, friend. And yeah, very difficult, obviously, to have a conversation with someone who has beaten the game 5 times like she has and not get into spoiler territory. But yeah, I just briefly shared some of my thoughts about the game and, you know, the fact that I'm very much enjoying it. However, you know, it's also the open world parts of the game are, I don't want to say problematic. It's hard to know what to do with them from a playthrough perspective. And, you know, of course, I've been rambling about this the entire time, but what she said essentially was that you can more or less skip the open world parts, and this was more or less what cave. This was more or less what I had assumed at this point, which is that you can more or less skip most, if not all, of the open world parts, meaning like the side dungeons and tunnels and whatnot, but that in doing so you're potentially giving up items you might want but may not necessarily be crucial for story progression, but that in doing so you may find yourself in a situation where you're under-leveled when you reach one of the, you know, quote-unquote proper areas. Skill required ahead and then seek friends. So in other words, this is a difficult area that, in the estimation of those friends, requires co-op. Oh! I keep forgetting we have one of those things, the lanterns. I completely forgot to turn that on. Oh, beautiful. Wow, so I don't even need the torch anymore. Oh! Fancy. Lakeside Crystal Cave, okay. That's an interesting chest. The soundscape in here is very eerie. Once again, you can't warp out of here, although in this instance it does look like you can just walk out, thankfully. So yeah, you know, it felt good to speak with Sophie and to have some of my thoughts about the early games validated in that way, because yeah, I wasn't sure what to think, really. So I think I will put my lantern on right there, and then, yeah. I might as well keep it on. Give us a nice little glow. Although, that does mean I can remove the torch finally and not worry about it. Not that it really makes a huge difference. And I could re-equip this. We really don't have any need for it presently, though, because the only spell we have equipped is Order's Blade. Anyways. Yeah, so I found that interesting that Sophie kind of affirmed what I was feeling about the game, but also pointed out that, you know, some people are very defensive of the game, and that, you know, she said you may want to just be careful with the things you say, but, and, you know, I want to say that by this point in the playthrough, you all will have heard how careful I have been in trying not to be unduly harsh in judging the game and its mechanics and the things that it's done, or, you know, just assuming that everything is the same as it's always been. These are friends we've never seen before, I think. Wow, okay, interesting. This is something completely different than what we've seen up to this point. But yeah, it is interesting, just that how, and you know, I'm not alone in this, how you can become very defensive of a game that you yourself did not actually make for various reasons. So who do we take out first here? I assume the ones by the fire are the casters. Oh, you've got some HP, friend. Ooh. Okay, so are they the ones with the black flame? That hurts. Are they wearing crowns of thorns? It looks like they are. So for those of you who aren't aware, in Christianity, Jesus Christ was said to have worn a crown of thorns when he was crucified for the sins of everyone. I don't mean to sound sarcastic when I say that, but yeah. Oh, nice hyper armor there, friend. Thankfully, they're not as aggressive as the friends we've been dealing with in the episode up to this point. But yeah, so it's meant to be like obviously a torture device, but also some sort of, like, you're sacrificing yourself, yeah, there's a whole thing in Christianity and in Catholicism in particular, at least I was raised Catholic, so I guess that's what I know best, but with guilt and, you know, assuming guilt and assuming the sins of others and basically punishing yourself for something that you didn't necessarily have any control over, it's seen as a virtue for one reason or another. But that, I wonder if that is what is happening here. Fire spur me. So spur me meaning like, give me a boost. Gosh. Keep equipping things and then, yeah. Okay, how long is this gonna go on for? Okay, it appears to go on forever. So, interesting. Dappled cured meat. Cured strip of meat, dried out after pickling in a dappled medicinal solution. Craftable item. Temporarily boosts immunity, robustness, and focus. Okay, so I'm going to assume those are not the Raya Lucaria people. Fire Monk's Prayer Book, because, you know, in Dark Souls 3, and yeah, I want to say in Dark Souls 1 as well, the pyromancers were considered outcasts. They were considered lower class sorcerers, essentially. And that the sorcerers, particularly those, like the elite sorcerers of, gosh, I forget the name of the place in Dark Souls 1, but Vinheim. The elite sorcerers of Vinheim essentially looked down on pyromancers. And so I wonder if we have something similar happening here. Prayer Book of the Fire Monks who came from the mountaintops of the giants far to the north. Can be given to a learned cleric to gain access to the following incantations. O Flame and Surge, O Flame. Yeah, we have a lot of spell books to hand in. And we will definitely get caught up on that in a future episode. Just not today, because we're virtually out of time at this point. I'm just looking for a more natural ending point than this one. So I'm hopeful that there is somewhere around here. Wow, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Again, I wonder, because this is what it looks like when you're embedded in a galaxy. So when you look at the night sky and you see the Milky Way isn't a thing. Like, what we're actually looking at is the fact that we are embedded in one of the spiral arms of the Milky Way galaxy. So obviously, you know, just having a smattering of stars like this, or like a massive concentration of stars like this in a line, doesn't in and of itself mean anything other than the planet that we're on is one that's embedded in a spiral galaxy. So, you know, whether that's Earth or some other planet, Planetos type thing where it's meant to be a sort of stand-in for Earth, then, you know, that's an open question, I suppose. Oh my gosh, of course there's bats over here. Why wouldn't there be? I'll leave you alone, bat. You leave me alone. Hopefully we got a deal. Yeah, the performance, you know, in previous games, I want to say, based on what little I know of the technical details of this, I want to say that the big issue in a lot of FromSoft games is the frame timing. So even if the frame rate is relatively consistent or higher than 30, it sputters and like it looks weird and juddery because the frame timing is an issue. The frames are not delivered at a consistent rate. What the heck? Okay. Oh, it's the friends from... These are the tiny friends who we found near the Bestial Sanctum. I think they might be trying to put me to sleep. Kukri. However, I don't see any buildup. Unless sleep is just supposed... There's no buildup, it just happens. Which would be rather unfortunate for the end of this episode. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to reactivate my... I'm scared. I need the warm glow of the lamp. Oh, that's bad. Whoops. Okay, these tiny friends are quite formidable. Not that I doubted that. Based on my experience with them, brief experience with them in Caelid, near the Bestial Sanctum, but... I'm almost certain that's a sleep. That'll cause sleep buildup, but... Oh. Oh, I see where we are. Okay, interesting. So I don't know if there's anything actually worthwhile up here. Other than these friends sort of lurking in the shadows here. And doing a great job of it, of course, but... Gold-tinged excrement. I wonder if that's theirs. Yeah, we've not seen a lot of that outside of the Mistwood. So in the Mistwood, oh, that guy's doing a little Artorias flip attack there. Okie dokie. This looks like another Everjail. It is that indeed. So I'm going to create a marker here. Like that for a boss. We're not going to do it today. This looks like the Chapel of Anticipation. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. So I'll have to figure out how we're supposed to reach there. In one of these episodes, I'd like to get a shot of the Everjail for the thumbnail. Because in the other two instances in which we came across an Everjail, it was not possible because I killed the boss before I had the opportunity. And in this case, I want to make sure I do that. So I'm not even going to... Not that I would kill the boss right away anyway, but I'm not even going to risk it. Oh, we can get the item, though. That is actually a fitting way to end the episode. Because earlier in the episode, I was like, how the heck are we going to get this item? And there we are. We accomplished a couple things. We killed the lobster, we killed that teleporting friend, and we got this item. So 3 things. Sacrificial twig. We can replace the one we accidentally used. That's better than nothing. Yeah, at minimum, we know we made the right decision coming here because remember we ran away from the Caelid wilds in part because, yeah, I noted that there was a distinct lack of smithing stone level 3 there. And we were only getting level 4 smithing stone. And I wondered whether that might be an indication that we were out of sequence with respect to the areas, or at least how FromSoft might have intended you to go through the game if you wanted a gradual increase in difficulty. And based on the fact that we found a smithing stone level 3 here, I think that suggests that, yeah, my hunch was correct and that we should probably continue in this area and that is sort of our best chance at not making a fool out of ourselves for the rest of the playthrough. So, yeah, and also, I guess, to complete the recap, we have our new weapon for now anyway, and we'll see, but I don't believe, yeah, we don't have any Somber Smithing Stone level 3, so, yeah, I guess we salvaged the episode in the end. It started poorly. I'm gonna say that this ended pretty well, and I hope you agree. So thank you all very, very much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!